What's happening, everyone? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at how to set up Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Outer Banks Edition. Now, this is a very straightforward video, should only take you 2 minutes at the very most, not even in order to set this thing up, because it literally is a plug-and-play solution. If you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel because I've got some pretty cool giveaways planned, and also consider sharing it with your social networks. But guys, without further ado, let's dive right into it and figure out how we can set up Android Auto and Apple CarPlay inside of the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. Step number one, what we're going to do is take our USB cable, and all we're going to do is plug it into any of the available USB ports. Click, and that is step number one complete. Starting off with Apple CarPlay, very straightforward process. We're just going to take the opposite end of that USB cable, and all we're going to do is literally just insert it into our phone and watch what happens. So we've got a message up on the screen there. So it's saying that Apple CarPlay lets us use our iPhone in a way that blah, 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 blah. We're just going to hit continue there. So privacy terms and conditions on top of that. So we've got some basic terms and conditions. One thing to note, you do have to agree to this in order to be able to use CarPlay. So we do have to hit agree. Now watch what happens. Okay, unlock my phone, and looking at my phone itself, so we can either enter in my combination there, I can use Face ID, Fingerprint ID, whatever the case may be. Phone is now unlocked. Now, one thing to point out, so as you can see there, it's now got another message on the screen asking me if I want to sync up, or allow CarPlay to be used, I should say, when the vehicle is, or when the phone is locked. All I'm going to do, make sure that I hit allow there, and I'm now connected. So this is really it. It's literally just a plug and play solution. Now, one thing to note that on Ford vehicles that have the Sync 3 system, it is a wired connection for both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But when you get into the Sync 4 system available on some vehicles, you can do that wirelessly, which is really, really nice. But looking at the basics here, as you can see, we've got my phone, music, maps. So we've got either Apple Maps or Waze. There's my messages there. We can see what's playing. We've got a podcast, audiobooks, my LiveX Live, so radio app, as well as WhatsApp. This button down on the bottom left is going to act as a home button on our phone, brings us back to the home screen. Now, one thing to note is that through your phone settings, you've also got the capabilities to be able to easily select whatever icons are showing up on the middle screen there. If we want to hop into our maps, very straightforward process there. As you can see, we're now connected. It's really that simple, which is really, really cool. Pressing on the screen there again, we can look at destinations we've already looked at, change it out to a 3D map view instead, and we can also see my current location. Now, if for whatever reason you need to get back to the Sync 3 home screen, all we're going to do is press this forward button in the middle. As you can see, it's brought us right back into the home screen instead, and we've got now hotkeys. So we've got the ability to press that phone button there, and that's going to dial us right into my phone there, which is really, really nice. Back to the home there instead, and let's jump back into the home screen. Same thing, we've got the option now of either using our phone, or we can use the maps directly on that Sync 3 screen. But in order to use the maps on the Sync 3 screen, there's a couple things we have to do. So if we press CarPlay, that'll bring us back into the basics here. But let's jump back into the actual Sync 3 home screen. We're going to go to Settings, and let's look for CarPlay. So we're going to go CarPlay. Now we can either remove my phone or we can turn CarPlay off. Oh, and let's actually do that. So we're going to turn CarPlay off. As you can see there, it's defaulted me back to the factory navigation instead, and my phone is still charging. And now we can completely remove my phone. That's a new one. All right, so we're going to remove my phone completely now. And then as you can see, my phone is actually charging, and we're running off of the regular Sync 3. So really, really nice to have the ability to do that. And the other option is just to completely remove in order to disconnect. Setting up Android Auto is also a very straightforward process. All we're going to do is take that USB cable, and we're just going to plug it into our phone along the bottom there, and watch what happens. So as you can see there, so Android Auto extends the Android platform, very similar to what we just finished seeing in the Apple CarPlay side of things. So we're just going to need to make sure that we continue and we accept that, and some basic privacy terms and conditions. Same thing, we need to agree to that in order to actually be able to use it. Now it's also giving me some messages on my phone, so all it's saying is we need to unlock to continue. So we're just going to unlock the phone, and along the bottom, just hit unlock to continue. Now it's also saying that it wants to turn on Bluetooth and allow my car to access the display from the phone. So we want to say yes to that, so next again. Okay, and just a second, wait, and Here we go. Literally plug and play solution, very straightforward. So as you can see, it's now paired with the vehicle, and just along my phone there now, it's saying that it wants to allow access to my messages, which yes, let's make sure we do that. And very similar to what we just saw on the iPhone side of things. So do we want to have the contacts downloaded automatically? Yes, and let's make sure that 911 Assist is also activated there. This is going to act as our home button for the phone itself, but as you can see there, we've got Waze, Podcast, my phone, calendar, maps. So that's actually one of the really nice things. So we've got the ability to select what's happening with our maps. So we can either go Google Maps or Waze. We've got basic news, reminders, different settings, and then the weather as well. Along the bottom, we've got our notifications as well as the ability to use our Google Smart Assist. And this is just going to be a hotkey in order to press into our maps. So really, really nice there. And actually, we've got some basic settings that we can control there. So we can add in different home and work addresses, very similar to what we saw in Sync 3. We've got the ability to easily search for an address. Jump back to the home screen again. So this is going to be the way that the Android Auto screen will look. If you ever need to jump back to the main Sync 3 screen instead, all we're going to do is just hit that forward exit. And as you can see there, it's brought us back to our factory settings. So we've got the ability now to press that map in order to hotkey into our preferred map on our phone. But let's say if you want to run off of factory navigation instead, all we're going to do is in our settings panel, we're just going to select Android Auto, and we're either going to completely disconnect or completely remove the phone, or we're just going to turn off Android Auto. So turning off Android Auto, as you can see, it's defaulted us back to factory navigation instead, and we can completely remove my phone from the vehicle by pressing that button. And then same thing, so the phone is technically charging right now, but the phone also does support wireless charging. So if the Bronco Sport that you've chosen does have support for wireless charging, all we're going to do is just drop it on the wireless charging pad there, and it'll charge up as we drive. So super useful feature. Well, that was a quick look at how to set these things up, and as I promised, it was a very straightforward process, literally just a plug and play. If you ran into any issues, drop it down in the comments section below and let me know, and I'll walk you through the process. If you have any feedback or any comments for me, leave them down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and until I see you next time, make sure you stay safe.